You can just hear the champagne corks popping among oligarchs and billionaires getting ready for the big billionaires ball. Used to be called the inaugural ball for Donald Trump because now they want the return on their investment. They invested tens of millions of dollars across about 15 or 20 different billionaires in different industries. And now they're here to collect their reward, to reap their profit, to get their return on their investment in Donald Trump, whether that helps the American people or not. Let's talk about it. Some industries you probably already thought are going to benefit by Donald Trump's election. The market has already baked into some of these industries huge profits since Tuesday, since Election Day, anticipating that the entire economy will be unshackled by any regulation that can help the regular person, the mom and pops, and the workers. Instead, it's just going to be a complete, pure capitalist free-for-all where the richest 2 or 3% in this country get richer and everybody else gets substantially poorer. Let's talk about the industries that are in play. Let's start with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, which has been bet heavily by Donald Trump, by the people around Donald Trump and his own companies. The head of his transition team is heavily invested in cryptocurrency. The Winklevoss twins, those Facebook founding twins, stand to reap billions of dollars because Donald Trump's going to get the Securities and Exchange Commission out of cryptocurrency regulation. In fact, there won't be any regulation of cryptocurrency. I mean, any normal president would establish a regulator for cryptocurrency. Nope. They're going to get rid of the regulator so that, again, the billionaire cryptocurrency investors and early investors make all the money, which does not, I assure you, trickle down to the average person. Cryptocurrency has already increased in value, led by Bitcoin, almost 50% in anticipation of Donald Trump being elected. And those around him, like the president of his or the head of his transition team, stand to make billions of dollars more because Donald Trump won the election. But let's think about some other industries that you may not have thought about. We have a whole group of private jail companies. They own jails. They enter into long-term deals with governments, with the feds, with states in order to jail people. And now with Donald Trump rounding up in lunchtime raids in immigration to try to deport 11 million people, these people are going to have to go somewhere. We talked about them as concentration camps, but it will likely end up right in the hands of the private prisons that were big supporters and fundraisers for Donald Trump. So Donald Trump, to pay them back, is going to pass policies that are going to line their jails with lots of people. So they have lots of customers. That's the dirty little underbelly of private jails in this country when you have a president like Trump who's selling out America's interest in order to repay his donors. So you've got the people that run that. There's a group called the Geo Group run by the Zoli family, and they're just chomping at the bit to get Donald Trump in there because they see that their fortunes are going to increase. Already, Geo Group stock, I'm not touting a stock, I'm just giving you what's happened, has gone from $12 to $26 just since the election because they anticipate that business will be booming in the private prison sector. So we talked about cryptocurrency. We talked about private jails. Let's talk about AI. Biden had tried through executive order to impose some ethical regulations on artificial intelligence so it doesn't replace us all or link up with Skynet one day and kill all human beings. Things like that. AI in the right hands, of course, is a tool that is helpful. It can be helpful. But if it puts people out of business, that's not so great either. But to Donald Trump, who lined his pockets with lots of AI technology money, AI is amazing. And that's an Elon Musk approach, who's whispering in his ear, and others who use AI in their industries, like his head of his transition team. And so see a completely unregulated playing field for artificial intelligence. And all the venture capital firms and tech firms that are in AI and the private equity firms that have invested in AI stand to reap double, triple, or quadruple what they invested, because Donald Trump is going to leave that field unregulated as well. Defense contractors. Drones cost a lot of money. Planes, drones, all the things that go into the war effort. They always say an army crawls on its belly or moves on its belly. It takes a lot for the modern Army and Navy and Air Force and Marines and all these companies that want to put weaponry and new weaponry and revised weaponry and all sorts of material and everything from uniforms to food to prisons to the weaponry that's used. All that is at a tremendous cost. And to replenish our arsenals, tremendous cost. So the military defense contractors all lined the pockets of Donald Trump, knowing that it was a completely transactional affair and that they would get a return on their investment, that Donald Trump's not going to be stopping wars. He's going to be unilaterally starting them and having to do it without alliances, because there's very few of our NATO alliances that want to be shoulder to shoulder with Donald Trump or who he's picked to be his defense secretary. So we've got cryptocurrency, AI, military defense contractors. Oh, I left out oil and gas. How could I leave out oil and gas? They were the main reason Donald Trump got elected the first time. Oil and gas will be booming under the Trump administration. He's drill, baby, drill everywhere. Don't regulate. Don't care about the environment. Put a fracker in charge of the Environmental Protection Agency and the like. So oil and gas stocks, oil and gas drilling and price gouging will continue under Donald Trump, right? Cryptocurrency, by the way, will also be benefit because Donald Trump wants to, because Elon Musk told him to, and so did his head of his transition team, that he should have a cryptocurrency strategic reserve, like a petroleum reserve, of billions of dollars owned by you and me, well, through our hard-earned hard paid-for taxpayer dollars. So that's another boon to the cryptocurrency people. And I don't know why any of this should shock you. I think the people that voted for Donald Trump that aren't in cryptocurrency, AI, military defense contracting, oil and gas business, private prisons, or another one, just the last one, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae were the two originally private companies, quasi-governmental companies that basically ran the mortgage industry, making sure that people could get loans backed by government securities and government backing, which allowed the housing market to do well because people could go to the Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae market, take out their mortgages and all. That went belly up, after the economy and all of that. It got bailed out with about a $200 billion bailout. Well, Donald Trump wants to privatize it. And there's a lot of his cronies that invested money to own stakes in Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, and they're going to be rewarded handsomely by that. But if you're not running any of the businesses in the sectors that I just identified, I'm not leaving out the way that you're going to be benefited as just a regular American, because I haven't heard it yet. All I've heard is the champagne corks popping around the country, and I can barely hear myself think with how loud they're screaming adulation for Donald Trump, because they're going to be rewarded, 10-1 on their investment in his campaign. So we got to call this stuff out, when policy is corrupted by the business relationship and the money that's in politics. Is Donald Trump rounding up immigrants and putting them in private prisons because that's the right thing to do? That's proper public policy? Or because he wants to reward the friends of his that own private jails? You never can tell with Donald Trump, and it's usually the latter. Similarly, is the oil and gas for our benefit to lower the pain at the pump? Or is it just a benefit to oil and gas companies who donated hundreds of millions of dollars to Donald Trump's campaign? Cryptocurrency? Who owns cryptocurrency? If you have enough money that you can dabble in cryptocurrency, then you're probably not suffering much. But for the average American, cryptocurrency is not something that is going to help their life if it's unregulated. That's for the big players, right? Generally men. That's another thing. I haven't mentioned one woman that's being benefited by any of these policies. None of them are leaders of any of the industries that I just laid out. Name for me the head of a major oil or gas company that's led by a woman. I got time. Go ahead. Put it in the chat. Same thing with cryptocurrency. Same thing with AI. Same thing with the military defense contractors. Same things in the jail business. There are no women there, which is completely consistent with how Donald Trump approaches democracy, cutting women out of most everything in terms of power. We're going to continue to follow it and what it means. Nothing we can do about it right now. We just need to keep a watchful eye and always connect the dots between corruption through money and donations and resulting corrupted public policy. We'll do it here on the Midas Touch Network and on Legal AF, where we sit at the intersection of law and politics and deliver this analysis and commentary just like this one. So until my next hot take, till my next Legal AF, the podcast, I'm Michael Popok, and I am reporting. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories, the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.